Hello. Um, uh, I'm here. I'm currently, working my job right now, doing overnight. Just sitting in the car, the Whippopotamus. And I got to thinking, well, I do this all the time. I got to thinking, you know, about different dreams, um, jobs, opportunities, careers, um, that I want to pursue or might have an interest in, um just in general. um and every time it eats me up. It's like, when I'm at home, I am a college student, but you know if I'm not focused on or like doing that, if I'm not in class or doing homework or something, it's like I'm just sitting there, just on YouTube or whatever I'm doing. Maybe Instagram, which isn't even that good to begin with. But that's where I find myself. I find myself scrolling. I mean, it's nothing new. Millions of people do it. It's why TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, it's why they're so popular. It's not really a surprise. But my story really doesn't differ from anyone else's. Chronic depression, anxiety. I got ADHD, so there's an added bonus I haven't heard from a lot of people. But I don't know. I got on here to just talk and vent. I've seen other people do it, you know. They've been successful with it, sure, but it's not even really successful. It would be nice to be successful. I'm not even gonna lie. But it's more so this is like a last ditch effort to just cleanse my system of everything that I think about and gather my thoughts in a cohesive manner for at least someone who isn't myself to see and possibly even relate to, maybe take something from it. Um, and as I said, if success comes from that, cool, but it's really, this is just a personal thing. I, um, I don't really have anything going on right now. I know I said I'm in college and stuff like that, but it's a struggle, you know? That's a big ass dog. It's a struggle. Um, you know, when I first turned 18, I'm 22 now, but when I first turned 18, I I basically went straight from high school into college. Like I had that little summer break, which I also started a job during that time. So truthfully, at just about every point in my life, I was doing something. I was either making money, I was in high school, or I was in college, or even a mixture of, you know, college and making money. Um, it's not really a bad thing. It's a good thing to learn balance, especially when you're younger, just to be able to put yourself in a place where you have to learn self-control with financial gain as well as balancing your time and effort, you know? Because one thing I had to learn was a lot of jobs will drain the absolute hell out of you. Um, I've worked at several different jobs: UPS, FedEx, Walgreens, couple of local restaurants, Waffle House. That one lasted for 5 days. Like, not even kidding. The fifth day, I was turning in the apron that they had just given me. I'm so serious. Like, the fourth day, as I was leaving, they were like, hey, we got something for you. On the fifth day, turned right back around and gave it to them. I did not last long there. That's okay, because their pay isn't worth anything. Really isn't. And I just want to say, before I even get into all of that, I'm not the type of person to be like, oh, you know, when it comes to jobs and stuff, I need my worth in gold. Not most people aren't going to give you that. I know. I, my rose tinted glasses are elsewhere, not there. I know you're going to have to work hard and for months, if not years, just to even get seen by upper management, you know? And especially in those base jobs where people come and go like crazy. Don't even let me hear about it. I don't even want to hear about it, you know? But it's just when I'm here, I say all of that just to say when I'm here on the job, I always tend to think and think and think in circles. I think about all the stuff I'm missing out on working a job, you know? I could be out going to bars, partying, driving cars, and just being out with people that I enjoy being around without worry. But obviously, to get to a point like that, you need stability in certain places. Like, you need job security, financial security, stuff like that. Of course, obviously. But then I get home off my job after thinking all that time, and even if I'm not tired, I hop on my phone, YouTube, Instagram. I don't have TikTok, so not that. But just different mediums and watching other people try and grow themselves. It's just, I feel stuck in a cycle that I can't get out of, where I'm just spiraling. It's like the more and more I think, the more anxious I get. The more anxious I get, the more I think. But by the time I get home, it's like it all goes away. I'll still think about it, sure, but nowhere near as bad as I was when I was on the job. It's like when I'm on the job, it's like, damn, I could really be making more money doing something I enjoy. Like, oh, I could be making, like, one passion I have, narrations on YouTube. I could be doing that. I even have a video I started after, like, what, weeks of inactivity. I'm just disappointed in myself. It's like, It's like, I don't even know what it's like, man. So here I am, just thinking, thinking, and thinking. I get home and I just don't do it. Even on my days off, when I know I'm not tired, I have nothing to do, I'm free, I'm just not doing it. And even with like college, I don't even have passion for what I'm studying anymore. Like, I even had to talk, like, sit down with my professors and talk and be like, hey, like, I'm losing steam out here. I hate to break it to you, but I'm losing steam. I'm not really sure this is for me anymore. And because I'm not the main financial person, I guess, behind my I'm not the financial backer behind that stuff. My mom is, of course, like my parents are. It's like I'd really be letting them down. And I'm not saying I want to give up on college entirely, but I'm so burned out. I don't want to do this anymore. And every time I think I finally got a clue on what I want to do, I get burned out, or it's just like I figure out I don't want to do it. I'm like, "Yo, I hate this." Like, I've changed my major at least 4 times. And it's so tiring just going in circles. I don't even see the point. I know college isn't for everyone, but then I think about, okay, so then what else am I going to do? Am I going to be an entrepreneur? Is that what I want to do? Then I'm like, okay, so then what business idea do I have? What do I want to do? Am I going to be a real estate agent? What am I doing? You know? But really, to do anything, you need some form of startup capital, you know? Even if you want to do something simple like vending machines, I've thought of it, but in the area I'm in, I'd have to do some deep diving because most places have a vending machine, and if it doesn't, they sell snacks there anyway, so they don't need one. But it's just it's just these thoughts. Just that same way I just said it, where it's like, oh, but this, oh, but that. It's always just a mixture of all of it combined. And it wears on someone. Like, it really wears on you. I wish I could be my own self motivator. Like, other people, I've heard like other people be say like, "Oh, I'm depressed." And I'm not taking anything away from them. But how are they able to like crank out like content or start a business or go to school and just get through it? Do you get medicated? Is that it? Because sure it helps, but it doesn't fix anything for me, you know? And sometimes in my experience, I'd say a good 25% of the time it's actually worse taking meds. But that's just my own personal experience. And I do think there's some benefit to taking. It's just, where is that benefit? It feels like I'm not really seeing it as much. And especially with like the ADHD. Anytime I feel like I'm starting to get a grasp on something, like I used to make music, I felt like I was getting a good grasp on it. This shit went on for years. I learned Audacity. I learned LMMS, which is just a digital audio workspace where you make music. And I taught myself both of those programs. And I was like, oh, hell yeah, I got this. This is what I want to do. Guess what I don't want to do anymore? Fucking music. I don't want to make music anymore. It's not even that I don't want to do it. I just don't have the passion anymore. I still pick up a guitar every now and then. I even have a song that I want to make off my electric guitar, but aside from that, there's not really anything musically I want to do anymore. And even when I was making music, the biggest like pitfall that I had was I just wasn't good enough. And what really sucked is when I would show my music to people, it would always, like my mom or just like a friend or something, they would always just, they would listen to it, and I could already tell they weren't liking it. And I think it went beyond they just didn't like the genre, or it's just this specific song just wasn't of their taste, you know? It felt like it was just like objectively a bad song. And I could like see it on their face as their face just subtly would like contorted and was like, ugh, you know? And even now, like with the narrations that I do horror narrations. 300 or so subscribers, and I get 100 views a video, maybe more if it hits. And of course I try and replicate. I have one video that has like 5,000 views, and I try and replicate that success. Obviously it's not always about the success, it's about the content, which is like anytime I think of doing a shortcut, I'm like, no, you know let's go ahead and do it all the way. That's why I add like sound effects to my stuff. That's why I add music as well. um I try and make sure the quality of the vocals, if it's not good enough, I will redo it. Like I will take a 30, I think I recently did like a 30-minute video, um a narration. It has sound effects, it has music, all hand picked by me, edited by me, voiced by me. The visuals, I edit them, I make the thumbnails. I do all of that. No one's helping me in this process. I find the stories, I do everything in the process. And it's just like it's tiring, first of all. But then when I finally finish something, and whether I'm proud of it or not, um it's always like a it's always like a wait and see when I show people. I'm like, "Hey, look at this real quick. Do you like it?" You know? Half the time, I don't even think the people like send the links to, like my friends and family, I don't even think they watch them, to be honest. I know they're not liking, which is fine. That is not important to me. I mean, it is just not from them. I don't care if they do it specifically. But I don't get feedback. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't care about seeing the like. I just don't get feedback from them. So even if they did watch it, they don't say it, which makes me think I didn't do a good job, you know? Like when I send it to someone and they're like, "Oh yeah, I'll watch it." And then like 2 weeks later I'll be like, "Hey, did you watch it?" And they'll be like, "Oh yeah, I watched it." I'm like, "Well, how was it?" And they'll say something generic like, "Oh, it was good." You just listen to a 30-minute video and it's just good. You ain't got nothing to say about it. It just rubs me the wrong way. I just wish I could get more feedback. And I wish I could not internalize it because it's not their fault, you know? Uh, Maybe I need to do better. Maybe it's just they didn't like it and just don't want to say that. It's okay. Like, but even when I say, "Hey, it's okay if you didn't like it. You can tell me like if there's anything I can improve." But it's always just, "No, it was good." It just kind of sucks, you know? Putting like effort into something, and because it's still in the beginning stages. Let me not even lie. It's still in the beginning stages. I just wish first of all I could get it out of the alpha stage and into the beta stage, and then into a full-fledged release sort of thing, like a game or something. But I also just wish I could hear something back. I wish I didn't have to pry. But it's fun, you know? All that matters is that I'm proud of it, right? What if I'm not proud of it? Do I scrap it and redo it? I'm usually drained by the time I finish one. Because as I said, find the story, I narrate it, I edit it, I add sound effects, music, and then I make the visuals. And as of recently, I've been doing like visuals during the video, not just the thumbnail, but actual visuals of like background footage and related, stuff. So it tells a more in-depth story and gives people who don't just turn their phone off uh something to look at while they're listening. And now part of me thinks I'm being rude for wanting feedback. Thinks this is that circular thinking I wish I could get out of. Anytime I think of something or feel something, I just find a way to deflate that idea. And it's no one's fault. No one had any input on what just this 20 or so minute conversation I just had. That was all me. I'm deeply flawed and don't even know why or how to fix it. Because sure, you can take meds, and that might work for something like, the anxiety or something, but what do you do when you run out of meds and you can't get any more? Or what do you do when the meds just aren't enough? Because I can be not depressed and still sitting in my bed, but then at that point you're just lazy. Okay, well, how do I self motivate? How do I get out of bed? Because clearly just thinking about it isn't enough. Clearly just being like, you can do this isn't enough. I don't expect someone to just give me all the answers, but like some guidance, some help, some shit. Sometimes even reassurance would help. You know? Sometimes just having someone pick up the slack would help. Even like recently I got rid of all my friends because even when I was with them, I felt so alone. And that's not to say that they're hateful or flawed or whatever. It's just I want to find my own people and I knew they weren't it? And I feel so bad for saying that because as I said, again, they're not bad people. One of two of them were bad apples, but not all of them. In fact, I'd say most of them were pretty chill. I had a best friend of 6 years. She was cool. Anytime she would jump in and support if I had an issue. But because she lived states away, like 4 or 5 states away, it's like, you know, And we would FaceTime every now and then. We would call. But I just, in me, I felt slowly drifting away. Like she just wasn't it, you know? Obviously, there's some other personal stuff that we were dealing with that I had to confront her about, but that was a small portion of it. That wasn't even a major portion. That was a very minor portion of it. But it's just fucking rambling. I just I could truthfully talk for hours. Hours and hours. I'm so serious about different things and life experiences and different aspects of what I've been through, but sometimes I wonder if it's worth it, you know? Sometimes I wonder if going out and making connections is worth it, or if trying to put my story or my creations out there is even worth it. Because I love the feeling of succeeding, you know? Who doesn't, right? I love the feeling of being told, hey, I'm proud of you. And these days, like, I feel so numb. Like, if I'm not annoyed, I'm numb. If I'm not, like, depressed or anxious, I'm numb. And I hate to say that. I don't have a bad life. So where did it all come from? Why do I feel this way? Is it my upbringing? Is there something I'm missing? Did I forget something? Is my brain intentionally, omitting memories? Did something happen? It's got to be something crazy for me to feel like such a failure, you know? Because that's how I feel. And I know other people like I feel that way, but it's like, so then how do we get through it? Yeah. That's all I got for now though. It's been recording for about 30 minutes. I just needed a quick release at least. I noticed I was starting to get into that circular thinking, and it usually lasts till the end of my shift, but at least now, at least now, you know, I can relax a little. It'll probably come back. I can't even lie, but it helps to be able to sort of release just right now at least. Um, normally, just one more thing. Normally I listen to like Reddit stories and stuff like that. And it kind of sucks because when I do listen to them, I feel it feels like I'm at a loss. I don't know. It just because I make narrations, hearing other narrators narrate and put out videos and just stuff like that, it's like watching someone else take your success. Not in the sense that they are, but it's like you're a bystander to your own downfall, I guess. I don't know how to explain it. But yeah. I'm just I'm gonna get back to it, I guess, and hopefully hopefully when I get home I'll have the energy to do something about it, but chances are I'll probably knock out, wake up and hopefully have time to get some work going. Finish where I left off before my shift. Start to record a little something. It's a video. I mean, it's a horror narration, a horror creepypasta. It's called My Wife Has Been Peeking at Me from Around Corners. Some simple. I don't know how long it'll be. I think maybe. I don't know if it's even going to be over an hour or under an hour. I want to say under, but I could very well be wrong. Either way, I've kind of thought that hey, I might be here for some hours, so it's okay. But we'll get it done, and I'm gonna try and record something else as soon as I finish recording that. So then, while I'm editing that, I can also be editing that. And just have multiple videos to put out instead of just putting one video out and having like days and weeks of silence. Because if you want to grow, you need consistency. So, but anyway, I said I was gonna go. I'm gonna go now. But thank you all to anyone who listened. I appreciate it. I thank you. And I hope wherever y'all are, if you are hearing this, day or night, it's night for me, but day or night for you, I hope you're doing real good. I hope you're at peace and you find your own level of success in whatever you're doing, your own happiness and comfort in what you're doing day to day. And I hope we all succeed in the ways we want to. But yeah, thank y'all for listening.